Welcome to the channel, folks. Clunkers and Classics. Where last episode we got this first color on the 81 Silverado. Just figure I'd give you a glimpse of it there. I just unmasked the paper and we're going to let it dry for a while. It's kind of cloudy, crappy weather, so it's going to take a while to dry. I want to put it outside in the sun for a couple days to really bake it. But then it's going to go red, and then we can paint the red below and above it. But anyway, I don't know. Can't really tell the color real good until it's outside in the sun. But anyway, this video is about the 85 IROC-Z Camaro, which we're finally going to get to. And I'm going to do that while Silverado is drying. So many of you have been waiting for this one. I'm trying to build up myself excitement to get working on it, but it's so-so, because these cars just aren't worth a whole lot of money, you know. I don't know if any of you watch Maple Motors. It's been a while, a couple months, but he had one on there like an 85, 86, and it looked decent, black, run and drove great. $79.50, you know, $7,950. You know, is that all it's worth? Well, it costs you that to fix it up to get it to be worth that much. So but you know me, we gotta do a very budget build on this. I don't know if it'll be an extreme budget build like the Silverado, but we got to keep it cheap because they're just not worth the money of going all out, buying all new stuff for it. Although I have bought a bunch of new stuff. So let's go over the history of it, because be prepared. Those are, you know, less ramble, more work. Well, I gotta start off these video series about, you don't want the cat in the picture. Oh, get away. I gotta go over the history of it on the first video of a series. I want to go over, because, you know, if I don't, I'll get a million questions. And I try to answer all the questions by going over the whole car, the whole history and everything. Okay, so it was probably around 6 years ago, say. Could have been 7. This was actually for sale, not too far away, about 10 miles down the road, or 20. Anyway, yeah, 10 miles. And come on, get away. So I can't remember what he had it advertised for, $1,500, something like that. And so I went and looked at it, because I go into town to Walmart and stuff anyway, so it was only, you know, 5 minutes out of my way of doing that. So I went and looked at it. It was completely gutted underneath the hood. He took the engine, transmission. Now apparently he got this, it was all complete. Don't know if it was running and driving, but it was complete. It was the 305 fuel injected automatic, but he's gonna make a race car out of it. So it's completely gutted. I mean, engine, transmission, all the wiring harness. I'll open the hood here in a little bit. All the wiring harnesses, windshield wiper motor, I mean, everything was completely stripped underneath the hood, except for the brake master cylinder. And he lost it all. He took the engine, I just remember him saying he took the engine into the machine shop, and then of course he never paid for it. I don't even know if they worked on it or wanted a deposit, but it'd been so long, he said, that it was gone. I guess they sold the motor, I don't know. But anyway, I don't know what he did with the whole complete wiring harness. He unplugged it at the firewall, and it's gone too. So I had nothing with this car. I mean, this is going to be the major problem with this car, is the wiring, which I'll go over here in a little bit. So I was like, no, I'm not interested in it. You know, I don't want to make a drag car out of it. I want to make a street car. I want everything to work. He never had no wiring to the lights, no nothing. So I need lights, need wiper, need wiring for the motor, you know. AC, I want to have AC working, you know. No, I'm not interested. So the story was, he worked for a body shop. This ended up being the property of the body shop. It's in the body shop's name, the title. So I don't know what the history of it was there, but from my experience in body shops, I actually got, back in the day, I got an 83 Z28. I was working at a Mako doing body work, and he went through a lot. He kept a lot of cars, the owner, because people didn't pay for them. They'd bring in their car like this, and it'd be, you know, I think I paid $800 for that Z28, 83 Z28. So they brought it in for $800 worth of work and paint, and then never paid for it. So then he would have to file these mechanic lien type things on them, and he'd do it like once a year or once every 6 months, and he'd end up with 6 or 8 cars. And I said, man, I want that Camaro. Okay, I'll sell it for what's owed on it. So it was like $600 or $800. I paid him, and then man, I got a nice car. So anyway, I'm assuming that's what happened with this car, because it's in the body shop's name, but I'm not positive. And it looked like it was a fresh paint job at the time. Now you got to figure this was off the road. Well, this is a Texas. I got an Oklahoma title on it now, but I think this is probably 2002. I think the title is from 2005. So it's, you know, almost 20 years. So I'll show you later, underneath the hood is fresh paint for the cowl. So I think they put on a cowl hood, they painted underneath the hood, and well, then I think they painted the whole car, but it's this base clear crap that's still peeling off. So it probably sat outside in their storage lot for, you know, 15 years or so. So anyway, they went out of business. Apparently, the owner of the body shop got heavily into coke, drugs, and gambling, and closed down. So this guy that got the car, bought the car from the body shop, he worked there for the guy, he was laid off. So I told him what I do. He's like, oh man, if you need a helper, need a hand, I'll come work for you. And I said, yeah, okay. So he comes and works for me for a day and a half. There's Nikki. Hi Nikki, how you doing, girl? Nikki doing okay? You navigating around okay? That's a good girl. That's a good girl. So Nikki can be in the video, just the cats can't. Just Nikki can. Nikki's a good girl. So okay, so he works for me for a day and a half, and the half a day, the next day, he worked a full day, then a half a day, and he goes, man, found out my girlfriend, who, I don't know, he had like 3 kids. I don't know if they're his kids or his girlfriend's kids. Fiance, he said. Found out my fiance screwing around, and I'm moving out. I need some money for my own apartment. Needed $600. So I said, you know, I can't advance you $600. You just work for me for a day and a half. And he's, well, I'll give you the Camaro as a collateral with the title until, like, this was like around November, say, and then he was going to get his income tax refund in like February. And he goes, oh, I'll pay you back in February in a few months. So I said, okay. So I went and towed the car here and got the title from him. So he took the $600 and left, and I never heard from him again. And that was, like I said, about 6 years ago, at least 6, 7. So it's my car now, you know. So I didn't do nothing to it until about, for a couple of years it sat around here. Then I had another helper, a young guy. He worked for me for quite a while, like maybe a year or something. So anyway, right before he left here, we stuck an engine and transmission in this that I had. And we'll go over that in a little bit. So, Mickey's chasing a cat under there, something. Okay, so the tires were all rotted, not rotted. They wouldn't stay aired up. I showed them before, and I actually took them off. Do I have them around here? These ones here. These were on it, IROC-Z. But there's something wrong with the rims, and they won't hold air. They just all go flat. So I got these rims and tires off a guy a while back for $150. They hold air, well, except for that right rear. I don't know. Anyway, they all basically hold air. I'll just have to find the leak on that. But the tires are, the tread's good, but the tires are old. Anyway, I got it for $150. And so anyway, the tires were no good on this. Okay, so the T-top's loaded. I don't believe it leaks. But it's been, you know, this door here is blue. Well, they're both blue. So the doors have been swapped over. Never had no power hooked up to this. I don't know what works and what don't. You know, it's got the power seat, although this is power seats, power windows, power locks, all that stuff. But it needs a ton of work. Now, what he gave me with the car is this whole upholstery kit, which I thought was pretty cool because that's worth some money. See, these are the real upholstery kits that you buy, and you actually, you know, hog ring them on there. So I thought, well, that's pretty cool. That's worth, you know, $300-400 probably. It's for the front and back seats. So then when I checked the car over, take everything out, one of these is missing. Either the bottom or the back cushion is missing from this set. I'm like, God damn. You know, where are you going to buy just one? You're going to have to buy the whole set over again. So I was like, shit, you know. I don't know, I could check around or something. I'd probably rather change it all to black, but now I got a couple of these dashes that this one here is so warped and everything, it's just, but they just come off with a few screws. I've got a few that are probably coverable, but I haven't checked around yet. Okay, we need to find out if it's a real IROC. It says IROC-Z on the dash thing. Probably somewhere else too, but we'll figure it out. There's supposed to be a code B4Z, I believe, and they said it was under a plate on the engine compartment, or it should be listed in one of them white plastic that lists all the codes for everything, and I cannot find that. It's usually like up underneath here, or but what I'm thinking is it's in the back. It's got a flap for, I think it's flap for storage and a flap for the spare tire. I bet it's in there. The problem is the key doesn't work on the trunk. You got the key here with ignition and everything, but no key for the trunk. So once we get power hooked up to it, I believe that's probably for the hatch there. We'll see if we can pop it open. Typical Camaros there, they all break here. But I do have 2 parts cars. So if one's good, we may have that change this over. But they all cracked there. This one's in really bad shape though. Got rear defrost on it. What's the mileage read? Mileage reads 92,000. It's probably original, being off the road for 20 years or so. Brake pedal's not worn that much. The carpet seems to be okay. So it needs a headliner, and that's going to be probably hard to find because it needs the whole backing. Although, like I said, I don't think it leaks. But I don't know, this rubber or something right here is all messed up. So, guys, going to take a ton of work. The door panels, I think the door panels are here, but they're all screwed up to the cardboard. We'll have to dig that out later. There's a drive shaft for it. These drive shafts are all the same from 82 to 2002. 20 years I used the same drive shafts. I got a bunch of them. Okay, is that all I want to go over on the interior? Oh, it's got a Z28 right here. The VIN number does, I think the VIN number will say whether it's a Z28, but like I said, it's got a different number somewhere else to figure out if it's a real IROC-Z, and we'll figure that out later. I don't know if they painted the jams or not, but I'm assuming this is the original color. It's like a maroon metallic. What you doing, Nikki? What you doing? Okay. Oh, it just says Z28 there. Now, I don't know if you can buy all these new emblems nowadays. Back in the day, I fixed up a bunch of these ones. So 85 is kind of a weird year. They have different spoilers and stuff, which I like more of the wing spoiler on them. But this one's got this one on it. I fixed back in the day. I had that 83 I kept for a while. Then I ended up fixing an 85. Actually an 85 IROC like this, and I put the wing on it and did all the stuff I wanted on it. The ground effects are 91, 92 because they have the air deals right there. Which it would be flat if it was 85 to 90. 91, 92's got them. So somebody swapped the spoilers over, and I believe has it got the vent? Yeah, it's got the vent down here too. See, so somebody's put them on there. And they put on the cowl hood. Okay, yeah, I remember buying all these new. You could buy them new. I don't know. I haven't looked to buy any stuff like cosmetic stuff like that. Okay, this cowl hood has not bolted down, or we unbolted it to put the engine in there. And I told my helpers, I had a couple of helpers work on this. Be very careful, very careful. But no, they had to smack the hood and cracked, and it's cracked over the years. I believe it was good. Come on, get away, get away. So anyway, it needs a windshield now. Okay, so you can see how shiny this is here because it hasn't been exposed to the sun and everything. That's why I'm thinking the body shop painted this, and then somebody didn't come pick it up. Okay, so it was gutted. No engine, no transmission, none of these jugs, no AC, all the housing, wiper, everything except the master cylinder was gutted. All this stuff, everything, condenser, everything was just gutted. So I have a parts car. Well, we'll go look at it here in a minute. And I had another helper that I told him, I says, take everything from this blue Camaro and put it on here. Now, the problem, okay, so in 85, you could get a carbureted version or I believe it was a tune port or throttle body, fuel injected. So of course the harnesses and everything are going to be different. So this one, come to find out, was a fuel injected engine. It's got the fuel injector wires going to the tank, which is another problem with these cars. The tanks are not easy to take off. You got to undo all the exhaust and everything, get the tank dropped. I think some suspension too to drop that tank. And I'm putting in a carbureted engine in this, so I don't know if I can use the fuel injected tank because it's got the built-in fuel pump and everything, or I got to get another tank. I'll have to research into that a little bit. I don't know if the gas is going to suck out of the line from the tank. So that's kind of one problem, but not so the blue Camaro, we took all this wiring, we took all the AC wiring, everything from it. He did, I didn't. And I didn't watch them. I had other stuff to do. I'm just like, take everything out there and put it in this one. There's a 87 or 89, might have been an 89, V6, fuel injected. So of course I knew all the wiring was going to be different. It's going to have all the wiring for the fuel injectors for V6, but I didn't really care too much about that because I just want to connect some wires to the distributor and then to the starter and have it run. But of course I wanted all this wiring so the AC and stuff would work. So you change all this over, and then it's got a wiring harness. I guess it goes in behind here into the firewall. There's another harness that goes in up under the dash. So he actually had all that dash and everything apart. And then he said that the wiring, one or two plugs were different and they wouldn't plug into each other. And I was like, well, just put it back together. I'll deal with it later. I didn't even look to see what he was talking about. So and now here it is later. Now I got to deal with it. The best way to do this would be to get an original 85 harness for a carbureted car for this, and it should plug into I don't know, right here. This is the big plug here. It goes in the firewall. So that's where everything mainly plugs in. Then it comes out and goes all over. I mean, all the wiring, even to the headlights and everything. You can see here, he didn't hook up a ground. He plugged in the lights and even got all the battery cables. Now, with these 80 models GM, they're just a real pain in the ass with so many vacuum lines, so many electrical. It's got somewhat of a computer that runs stuff, especially on the fuel injection stuff. And of course we're going to bypass all that. So anyway, there's going to be tons of vacuum wiring and stuff we don't need. We'll just have to keep snipping, but you know, I'd like for the AC and everything to work, speedometer, gauges. So it's going to be a pain in the ass, guys, to do that. Okay, so the engine. This engine is out of an 86 Chevy van. Now, I bought this van for 500 bucks out this guy, running and driving. He claims it was an old church van and it only had 45,000 original miles on it. But it didn't have no church lettering or something, nothing on it, but it didn't matter. It run really good. Now this was even longer. This was probably 9 years ago, 10 years ago, 9 years ago that I bought the van. So of course the transmissions are longer on trucks and vans, so it wouldn't fit in a car, and I knew that. Didn't need a transmission. I sold it for, I don't know, 200 or 300 bucks. But well, anyway, the van, it even had a title. But vans, some people still think they're worth some money nowadays. You know, it was an 86, but I don't think they're worth shit. They're not worth any money. They're just worth parts. So I ended up selling the transmission. I sold a whole bunch of other little stuff, and then I sold the rest of the van, which was gutted, really. I think I sold the seats out of it, but just the body to a guy for 500. So right there was my money back. Plus I made money selling the transmission and a couple of hundred off of all these other parts. So this engine's free, guys. But once I took the engine out, I don't know if I cleaned this one out up, but to me it looked like it may not have. It looked like it had too much gunk on it to have originally 45,000 miles. But then again, it probably wouldn't run that good if it had 145. Being a 305, but we'll check the numbers for sure. But the tag up here on the van said 305, so I don't have any doubt that it was the original engine. But later on we'll check the numbers there. I should have checked them when I pulled the engine 9 years ago, but I didn't. Okay, so the problem, these are those electronic carburetors. It's got a whole bunch of electrical connections and stuff on it. Tons of vacuum stuff. A lot of this stuff ain't hooked. But it did run good. I think it'll run good without the electrical stuff hooked up to it. Worst case scenario, we'll get a $150 carb off eBay, like I did. The El Camino, still running great. Starts up, runs great. But we'll try to run it with this carburetor on it. The second other problem is the distributor here has oh, well, shit, I already bought a distributor for that. Damn it. Ah, damn. That's what you do when you put off projects. You forget what you bought. Okay, the original 86 distributor for this, it has a whole bunch of wires connected to it, because like I said, it's run by the computer and everything. So it was it wouldn't work. You couldn't just hook up a hot wire to it and run it. It wouldn't work. So this is I bought for an older model GM, you know, 68 to 85 or something like that. I already put it in. I didn't know that because it was covered, and I just bought a new distributor right there. That's what it is. Anyway, these distributors here are about 50 bucks. What else did I buy for this? I bought some spark plug boots because we're putting headers on it. I got the thick spark plug wires. I got new spark plugs. Okay, that's part of the stuff we're putting on here. Okay, so I guess I don't have to put in a distributor now. Okay, so another problem is these exhaust manifolds. Now, whether it's exhaust manifolds or headers, You have to get them for Camaro only. You can't get them. I usually buy the not universal, but somewhat universal, say the El Camino ones. They'll fit, I guess, G-bodies, Malibus, El Caminos, all kinds of different cars, right? Buick Regals, whatever. Then you can get, what are the Chevelles? Le Mans, 69 Chevelle, I think A-bodies, set of headers for them. It'll fit tons of different cars. Now the problem is with you have to get specific manifolds or headers to fit 82 to 92 Camaro. That's it. That's all that fits in there. And kind of a pain in the ass to find. So I spent, now them universal type headers, you can get them for $100 on eBay. That's usually what I buy. These ones I bought specifically for the Camaro. They were 200 and something. But it comes with a whole bunch of pipes, which we'll go over that too. Camaros, you can't just put on the headers and then run 2 pipes underneath the floor and out. They're too low. So you got to, there's a big indentation on the passenger side. So the pipe would go down, and I don't even, you can't get true dual exhaust on these Camaros. I guess, I don't know, custom places can probably make them, but factory wise it's not. It's just goes into one, and then it's in that indentation so it doesn't hit the ground and goes back to a single muffler. So that's what I had to buy, the pipe, special pipes for the headers to fit and go and connect into that hump there and go down. So I think that's what it says. Anyway, it's a whole bunch of pipes that got to be welded together. So I just bought the whole box there, the whole kit. I'll show you here in a little while. But the exhaust pipe is there on both sides, but I couldn't find any factory exhaust manifolds, and I thought, well, if I got to buy something, I might as well buy headers. Okay, so the last helper I had, we just plopped this engine in. Engine transmission is just sitting there. I see the bolt on this motor mount right here, but I don't think the other side's hooked up. It may be, but I don't even know if this got a starter on it. Starter may be off on it too. And the transmission, I was trying to think where this transmission is from, and I cannot remember for the life of me. I believe it's the 700 R4 overdrive, but I can't remember where I got it from, whether it came with this car. Maybe he did have the transmission, or it come off one of the other Camaros that I had, came with it, thrown in the trunk when I bought the car. And anyway, when we got this motor from the van, we stuck that transmission on there and then stuck the whole thing in here. So I don't know if the transmission's any good. I cannot remember. But yeah, it's just sitting there. It's not hooked up, and it's never ran in this car or nothing. Got a lot of work to do to get this wired up and fuel system and everything, just to get it to run. And we got to, then the headers and the, all kinds of stuff. Fuel lines here. This is the manual fuel pump from the van, just cut there, whereas the, what's that? That's an AC line that's just sitting there. I believe it's up behind the firewall. It's coming from the fuel injector, fuel pump. So we're gonna have to get that. Just a lot of screwing around, and that's why this not that excited to work on it. I'll probably be more after I do get it running, then I'll be more happy. See, here's some of the fuel injection wires and stuff that we don't need. And this is probably just all crap. So anyway, it's going to be a real mess, guys. This is just holding up the exhaust, I guess, so it wouldn't drag. And it's going to be some work doing that exhaust and cutting all that stuff. So okay, I think that was about it. I don't know if I left anything out. Okay, so what I bought for this were the headers, distributor, which I now don't need. Is missing the radiator. Same thing, just 82 to 92 Camaros radiators fit in here, so I had to buy one of them. Bought it for I think $170 something off eBay. I'll show you that here in a while. Has the dual electric fans on it. So we got that new. This pump, I don't know if that's off the original car or this engine. So I think all these pulleys and everything have to be changed over. See, the 86 van has this serpentine type one for this, and then a separate ones for the AC. I don't know where the AC went. I guess the AC would go up here and the power steering down here. We're gonna have to figure all that out, but I'll probably just buy the whole, use all the old style pulley for crank, water pump, old style alternator, and power steering pump, and just put it on there as an older V8 engine. And then we'll have to, you know, put a new different thermostat housing on it and crap like that. So okay, let's just go over to this blue one here real quick. I'll just show you, and if I need any parts for that, you know, suspension, something like that, I got these two right here. This one's a 91 RS, was V8. Was a V8 fuel injected, but it's a 91. There's the way I just bought it. I bought this for $300. Bought both these for $300 each off the same guy. So this was complete. This is all the stuff took from this one to put on that 85. All the AC stuff. I believe that's where the harness went in right here. That's what he had all the dash apart, trying to plug. I don't know what the wiring is for all that, but it wouldn't hook up underneath the dash somehow. But yeah, so you had to take the wiper off. I think the condenser and all the wiring, all to the headlights, all that stuff was all missing. This stuff just laying in here. I don't know. Might be from another car just sitting in here. Oh, okay. Well, here's the fuel injection wires for a V6. So yeah, they might be down here for the V8. I'll have to look again. Yeah, one will be gas, one will be return. Okay. So yeah, like I said, the best thing to do is to get the right harness for an 85 IROC, but I don't think they make them aftermarket, and trying to get one from a junkyard or something would be next to impossible. They're not going to go out there and take a whole harness apart and sell it to you cheap. If I could find one, I'd buy it, but as I said, I don't really need the fuel injection part of the harness. I'm just gonna, as long as I get the key to work and the engine to run, stay running, power distributor, we'll go for that for now, and then we'll worry about all the gauges. And okay, yeah, here's the So what I can do is hook up electric fuel pump, which I got, put 5 gallons of gas in the tank or a couple gallons, and then run a pump to this and see if it'll draw gas out of that tank. And if it can, then we can run a line. I'm sure this 86 van's got a return too. Got 2 lines there, figure out which is the return and then hook them up to these 2. If we can draw gas manually out of there. For now, I can just pour gas in the carburetor, fill up the float bowl, and get that rolling. Get it started that way. But yeah, it should run. Got it all covered up, so it's been out of the van for about 9 years, but she should run. But yeah, if I need anything like idle arm or suspension parts, I got them 2 parts cars. I haven't advertised them for parts because I don't want to sell anything off of them that I might need for this. So anyway, guys, that's it. That's the story on it. I think that's about all we need to go over with it. Yeah, so the goal right now is just to get it running, starting, running, driving, and we'll go from there. It's going to be expensive on the interior. The paint and body, I don't mind too much, but this maroon metallic is going to be the most expensive paint, and I doubt that I'm going to paint it that color. My Camaros in the past, I used to paint them black, so it was like my black Camaro up there used to be blue, painted it black. So yeah, let me know what color I should paint it. I mean, it's a nice color, but, and I probably won't keep this. I might. I like them, but yeah, let me know what color you would paint it. And it's got to be, it can't be an expensive color like that. And it's going to go single stage, and it ain't going to go clear. That's why I don't like painting clear, guys, because of that stuff. So yeah, anyway, once it is running and driving, then you got the windshield, then you got all the interior, the seat covers, the headliner, all that stuff. Then you got paint and body, then you got new tires that I'd have to put on it. So much stuff. And once I get up to that point, I don't know whether it'd be worth keep going and going and going with it. But right now, the goal on this video series is just to get it running, starting running, driving, and stopping if it needs any brake work. After that, I don't know, guys. I might be pissed off at it, or I might set it on the back burner. I usually like to start a car and finish it, everything, but I'm just not quite sure on this one. We probably will eventually, but not all at once, not boom 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 like these at 2 El Caminos in this truck, because I just feel like I'm gonna be wasting valuable time working on this when I could be working on something else worth more money, that type of thing. So don't hold me to getting this thing all done all at once. Okay, so what we're gonna do, hook a chain to it with my Jeep, and we're gonna bring it up here and get it on this slab, and then get her jacked up in the air, use some of my big jack stands, and get it as high off the ground as I can. We can crawl underneath there and look, and we'll just start from there, guys. I don't, I'll probably wait for another day to unpack all this stuff. This is the whole exhaust kit here. This is the radiator fans, and then I got a sponsor that sent me an exhaust cutout kit. So we may put that on there if we got enough room, ground level room, to make that work. So we'll unpack all that in a while, but for right now, I'm gonna get it over here. 20% chance of rain today, 50% tomorrow, After that, it's fine. So I don't know how much work I can get done in the next couple days. But anyway, that's the story. I know it's a long ramble, but well, let's get it over here and dissect it some more and see where we're at with it to actually get it to run. Okay, I'll be back, guys. Okay, guys, I got it over on the slab. Yeah, you can see how low this is, how low these cars are. So low to the ground, and these are actually pretty big tires. I think they're 245, 50, 16. So if you had like 205s or 215s or whatever, maybe even an inch lower. So anyway, they're so low to the ground, that's why them exhaust problems. Okay, I pulled all this out. Got the two bottoms and then one top, and then these are for the headrests. And this, I don't know what it's for. Might have been, well, extra for the carpet or something. So anyway, I'm missing one top. One of these tops. And you know, nobody's gonna sell just one. Okay, I did buy some new locks. I guess I figured the door locks in the trunk didn't work. So I'd bought these a long time ago. Yeah, I just need to open the trunk to get it out, to get this lock out of there. That little cover is off. No trim tag on that. It may be on the spare cover, but I need to get this. I need to get that off. Yeah, it was a Texas car from El Dorado, McKinney. Here's the door panels. They're probably actually cleanable, but the cardboard is just so rotten that I don't know if I could soak them in water, flatten them out. I don't know if any, I guess I haven't looked for any parts for these. I don't know if I could get those new. I bet they cost a fortune. Yeah, like I said, another blue door. We don't know if any of the power or anything works. Probably what happened was the hinges went out or something. Yep, they're welded on there, see? Hinges are welded on. So if the hinges get wallowed out, then you're kind of screwed. Okay, well, I'll be back. Okay, guys, I'm just trying to figure out everything. Yeah, I think most of this stuff here is for computer related stuff, except for one going to the AC. He didn't have this hooked up here. Then this is for a V6, see? So I think these the AC compressor on a V6 would be over here, but I think it's supposed to be over there on a V8, so that ain't gonna work. I'll have to see if it's on the 91, but I doubt it. But I'm gonna take all them off for now. So these just all just loosely fitted on there, so you didn't put in the rubber mounts. That's just kind of sitting in there. The other thing, there's the dipstick for the van. You know, for a van, it's got a big long tube come out because the engine's so far back. I have the whole tube and dipstick on that 84 Silverado over there. I remember checking that a while back. And we'll have to pull that out and put the truck one in. But I'm going to check this and make sure it's full, and that way put the other dipstick in there and make sure it reads the same. Okay, there is a motor mount bolt in this side, both sides, so we did get both motor mounts in. As I said, I had, you know, one helper put all this stuff in, and then another helper just stab the motor in there, and then that's it. Okay, this hooks up to the starter, but it's not hooked up. I'm not sure if, I think the starter's on this side. I don't know if one's on there or not. We'll get this jacked up here in a little bit. I just wanted to get some power to it and see if we can pop that trunk. This again is a bunch of, I don't know what it all plugs into. That's the problem with these 80s models. Like I said, they just got so much stuff that plugs into crap. But here's a power here. This would probably be the alternator right here, but we don't need that. We'll just hook up a battery to this deal here, and the negative cable, he just set it in there, set a negative to here. See if we can get some power on the inside, and see if we can pop that trunk. So anyway, the little deal for the gas is missing. Don't know what happened with that. I should have probably left that on and cut the line to it, but now I gotta rig up something, probably off that 84 Silverado, and hook up a fuel thing to that later on. We're gonna see if we can get it running first. But yeah, all this stuff's got to go. It's got 3 heater connections on it, one here, 2 there. One heater's here. The other one, I thought it should have been there. We'll figure that out. May have to do something with that. Of course, check the heater core, make sure it's not leaking. Temperature control here is busted. You get another one of them, so you got to worry about the headers fitting in here. So I think the dipstick might be in the way, spark plugs might be in the way, this might be in the way. I'll have to get all that stuff ready to put in. Anyway, we'll check out that exhaust a little bit later when we get it jacked up. Okay, just thought I'd show you that. This back tire here is the only one that goes flat. It has a plug in it that an old plug is leaking around there. It's actually right in here, but it's kind of like right in here. But like I said, these tires are all kind of weather cracked anyway. Have to eventually replace them. This one that was sitting flat. It's a shame, but like I said, I only paid $150 for them, mainly for the IROC 16-inch rims. See, a plain Camaro would only have 15-inch. IROC's got 16. Okay, I think that's it for now. I'm just showing you stuff as I go along here. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, guys. I couldn't get the electrical switch to work. I put power right to it. Anyway, I had to pop this out with a screwdriver and a sledgehammer and put in the new lock. We got that. Took off this cover. No codes on it. I don't know where that damn thing would be. I checked those other Camaros and see. I think it was supposed to be under the glove box. They got a bunch of insulation and stuff in here. This little deal here is broke. I don't know, it's supposed to go all the way up to here or something. It's for the spare tire. Then this side here, this is a deal for trailer lights. This seems to be all connected. And it's got a trailer hitch on it. Get rid of the cat. Got a trailer hitch on it with a deal, so we'll just leave that. I guess there's supposed to be something to slide in here for a trailer ball, but I don't know where it's at. Anyway, I'll move on tomorrow and jack this thing up on the jack stands, and we'll get underneath there and take a look. But yeah, it's a Texas car. There's no rust. I scraped all this leaves and crap out of here. But yeah, there's no rust or anything in it. So that's a good, you know, when these things used to, so years ago I used to have a bunch of these, and I'd part them out, and every deck lid and actually doors doors would rust out in these deck lids. I must have sold 30-40 of them on eBay years ago. And the doors, believe it or not, you'd have to take the mirror off, and this little deal here, I got the music going, so this deal in the mirror, and it would fit the exact dimensions that wouldn't be oversized for FedEx or UPS. And at the time it was 50 bucks to ship it, and I sold every door that I had. I must have sold, you know, 20-30 of them, because apparently they would rust out down at the bottom. So anyway, that's it's a Texas car, no rust. I'm sure there's going to be no rust underneath, because these things would rust up north real bad. So anyway, that's another little thing got done. Be back tomorrow and we'll get her up on jack stands, get underneath it. I'll be back. How you doing, Nikki? She was chilling in the tall grass, which reminds me, I got to get a new lawnmower here in the next few days and cut all this grass. It's growing really fast. How you doing, Nikki? You like laying in the grass? You like laying in the grass? You're such a good girl. You're such a good girl. You're such a good girl. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, guys, it's the next day. I haven't got it jacked up yet, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't have a starter on it. I'm not sure what happened to that starter. It may, but we're going to go over to the 84 Silverado parts truck I bought at an auction a while back. I used the bed on the 81 Silverado. Okay, so what we need off this is a dipstick right here. It's got a little bolt and a bracket right there, and it's got a starter in it. So I'm going to go ahead and take the starter off. Here's the main positive battery cable. I'm fixing to go down to AutoZone here in a little bit and get new battery cables and some stuff. And then all the wiring's coming up through here. So I'm going to go ahead and take that wiring off. See, this is completely different junction to bolt into the fuse block. It'd be nice to have the whole this be the same as a Camaro, and I can take this whole harness off and use it, but no such luck. But anyway, I'm going to take off as much wiring as I can, in case I got to try to hot wire it, because I actually tried hooking a battery to the power of that when I was trying to open the back hatch, and it wouldn't, nothing came on inside or whatever, and I had the power going right to there's a little junction box down here. So the whole wiring harness off that blue one is probably completely different. It may not, nothing may work on it. So anyway, if I have to hot wire it, I can hit the solenoid and then hook up a power wire to the distributor. Okay, also here's the gas line here I can use. So I'm going to take that. There's a fuel pump. I don't think I need that, but hell, I may take that off too. I don't know. And anything else I can think of, I'm going to take off this engine. Here's the type of pulley that I believe I'm going to be using. This pulley, I already got the crank pulley, and then we just need an alternator, and we can use the old style pulleys instead of that one with the one serpentine on it. yeah, I think that's about it. So let me do that. Let's figure out, come and show you guys what I'm about to do, because it's going to be raining and all that. Yeah, whatever I can think of, I'll take off this engine. But yeah, it'll save a lot of from buying a bunch of stuff. And then we'll try to get the, and like I said, you know, see how this dipstick is. When I put on the headers, I don't know if I gotta go over top of the header. I'll probably have to fit the header in there and then put this in. So I'm just gonna kind of put it on the Camaro loosely. Okay, well, I'll be back later. Okay guys, I got her all jacked up. Okay, I went and took the starter off the truck. I left all the wiring hooked up in case I need some. Okay, got the oil dipstick and tube. Got the fuel line. Goes from the carb to the fuel pump. Fuel pumps look the same on this one and the truck. Went and bought new battery cables. These things are friggin' expensive, like 25 bucks for almost 5 feet, and there's a little over 2 feet for, I don't know, $19.99. Okay, we'll go with the back here. It does have rear disc brakes, which we'd expect on an IROC, but 85 is kind of a weird year. But yeah, it's got the disc brakes. Got the tag up here for a limited slip, so it's got a posi. We will be checking the fluid, probably changing the fluid. This looks like an aftermarket. It's kind of rusty, so I don't know, MagnaFlow, Flowmaster, but it's broke right here. See it? I don't know if it's broke or somebody cut it, but yeah, this whole exhaust system is going to be dropped down. But like I said, for the exhaust system, you can see there's a big indentation on the passenger side. That's for the catalytic converter. Of course, somebody cut that off. And yeah, it just goes up over the rear end and comes into this, and it's fake duals. This trailer hitch is pretty heavy duty, goes up and behind the rebar and then bolted here to the frame. So it's you know, tow a little boat or something with no problem. Okay, let's get over here. Okay, this is the spot for a factory catalytic converter. This is tied up with some cables. We're fixing to undo that and drop it. So you can see the driver's side has a pipe comes up over there. Passenger side comes down. And they join into this one. See, there is no room. Well, see, this is dropped down. See, it's supposed to be up pretty close here. And there's an indentation here, so it's supposed to be up here. So there's really, and then this pipe here tucks up underneath. So there's no really room to stick some pipes underneath the floorboards. Not exactly sure how we're going to do this dual exhaust, but for now we'll just get the headers on there. Yeah, the easiest thing would have been to get the factory manifolds, but like I said, it's 82 to 92 Camaro only, and I can't find any. There's some on eBay for a couple $100 or something for a set of used ones. They might sell new ones, but they're, you know, $100 or something each. And I figured, well, just get headers, and we'll just have to figure out how to use this exhaust. I don't know. Use this header kit, because the header kit, we'll have to unbox it here later. It comes with a bunch of these pipes, see, and you gotta weld them all together. That's kind of why I bought the kit. Okay, Well, the starter should be, let me get up under here. Yeah, starter bolt's right there. So we'll bolt that up. Well, I gotta test it first. Yeah, the transmission is just into the cross member there. The linkage and everything's right there. It's not hooked up or nothing. Speedometer and everything's nothing's hooked up. We just kind of stabbed it in there, got the transmission hole lined up. I guess put the cross member in. It was my helper's last day on the job, so we're kind of rushing around. See, it's only got like one bolt on each side for the cross member. We did hook up the torque bar. Oh yeah, I kind of remember putting that on there. Anyway, this hooks on all Camaros. Hooks from the transmission all the way to the rear end. Keeps everything perfectly aligned the way it's supposed to. But yeah, see, there is some rust on this driver's side rear floor, and that's probably from weather stripping or something leaking and water collecting in the floor. And the title, I mentioned 2005, it's 2003, and the inspection and registration, everything was from 2002. So yeah, this has been off the road since 2002. 22 years. Yeah, so I'm gonna get up under there and drop that exhaust. Like I said, here's one cable holding it up. We'll drop that down. I took off them AC lines that my helper had just kind of put in there, threw them in the back. We'll take off this dipstick and test the starter, put on the starter, drop the exhaust, and then we'll get the headers and see if we're gonna take out the spark plugs and everything to make it fit. We'll just see, and we'll unbox it all. Like I said, here's for that line, goes from here down to here, and then one of these, I believe this one will go to, the thick one will go to from the fuel tank, and then this one I guess is a vent or a return, and we'll have to figure out which one of these is from the tank and which one's for the return. And later on we'll put a few gallons of gas and cut that, put a pump to it, and see if we can pump some out of there. Yeah, it's got a fuel pump, inline fuel pump in there too. Anyway, let me get rolling on that. And yeah, the hood fell off when I was jacking it up. Hopefully I didn't damage it. I kind of scratched it a little bit, but anyway, I came and busted all this off. Okay, we'll figure out what all, I think my helper must have taken all this off. That's the throttle cable and stuff like that. Might have had cruise control on it or something. Have to figure out what transmission that is. I'm thinking it's overdrive, but hell, it may just be a 3-speed. I don't know. I'll have to turn the shifter thing and see how many clicks. Okay guys, I think that's about it for now. Let me get some stuff done and I'll be back. Okay guys, got the dipstick in there. Like I said, I'm not sure if I gotta take that out to put the headers in or not. I don't know. Put the starter in, run the new cable here. Yeah, they don't sell red cables anymore. They're all black, at least at AutoZone. I just took the negative cable to here. So these are the wires that were on the starter. These all go to the same they go to the where the battery cable hooks up to, and then this purple one is the one to the side that's the ignition. When you turn the key, it activates this one and turns it over. So I hook one here to the power junction, but we got to figure out the wires coming up through here, which ones work the key, and we can hook it into this. And we'll see what happens here. I don't know if this should power the headlights and everything else, but okay. So I took it has the inspection cover on it, so I took that off transmission to make sure that it had the torque converter bolts in there, and if they were in there, that they were tight. So that checked out, put the cover back on, then I put the starter, but there's no transmission lines on it. There's some on the truck, and I think there was some underneath the hood of that blue one. Anyway, we got to round up some transmission lines coming through. I got all this coming through right through here, and that's where I'll have the transmission lines coming through too. Everything's got to be out of the way of the header. Hopefully it is. Fixing to unbox them and check them. So as I was checking torque converter bolts, the engine was turning. I did about half a turn, checked the bolts. So then I hook up this, and it cranked over about half a turn and stopped, like it was seized. So I took out all the spark plugs, sprayed a little WD-40, and now she cranks over. So technically, we just have to hook a power wire to the distributor, have all new plugs and distributor and everything timed, and hook a power wire to that distributor, and then hit that, and it should fire up. But we still got the fuel system and the exhaust system to go. So let me come back, and we'll unbox this exhaust system, and I'll be right back. Okay guys, this is the exhaust kit I bought off eBay. It's 200 and something bucks because it specifically fits 8292 Camaro. So maybe I should have undone all this. This is not sponsored or nothing. I had to pay for it. Hopefully everything's in here. Well, everything's all friggin' loose. I hope nothing's missing. Okay, so these are all the pipes. I'm not exactly sure how I need that to hook up. Should have unpacked all this. Well, here's some. I don't know how many of these I'm supposed to have here. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. Keep popping out everywhere. Okay. Hang on for a second. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm supposed to have 12 of them bolts. Okay, so there's one. Okay, and we got all clamps. Clamps and stuff. Let's see what else. Oh man, that's gonna piss me off if... Okay, 2, 4, 6. So it's got 12 of these. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. 3 missing. See, the box came kind of mangled up, but we'll check here. It might be... Okay, so that's the passenger side there. I guess I'll put them on there and see how they fit, and look around for the other 3 bolts here. Okay, now what I got, now this is from a sponsor they sent me, so I'm going to put a link below. These were just off eBay, so you'd have to search eBay for headers, and they weren't cheap. Okay, so let's go over this. We're not going to get all this done in one video, but here's the... Okay, these are exhaust cutouts. So I got a bunch of so exhaust cutouts are you would hook this to the header. See, those headers don't have the flange thing on it, but, and then you push a button, got the electronics here, and it would open up the exhaust. So you can go through your mufflers or just straight headers. Okay, see, this is what activates, and it would yeah, so you'd open it up like that. So you put them on your headers, and then they go through your mufflers, and then you open that up and it'd be straight headers, which they have yeah, this deal here. Let me unpack this stuff. I'll be right back. Okay, guys, I put one together. The other one's in the box there, but basically you hook this up to your header, right? And then this here would go to your muffler. And so you can turn it, you can have it so it points down like that or to the side. And with this one not having much room at the bottom, it's probably going to be at the side. So you'd have that, and then you hit the button, and it would just go open, and then close it, and it would go through your mufflers. Okay, so and it's just got a switch. Got your power lines, and goes into a cigarette lighter or 12 volt, and then it should have a little remote. There's that in there too. Little deal, you just push the button from inside the car. Okay, so if you're interested in these exhaust cutouts, I'll leave the link and promo codes and all that stuff in the description below the video. Okay, yeah, these got deals for I have to tighten that up, for O2 sensors, but it's not going to have any of that stuff hooked up to this one, so I got to make sure I tighten them ones. Okay, so next video, I think we'll end this video because I did too much rambling at the beginning, but like I said, I had to go over the history and everything on this. Okay, so next video we'll get the exhaust system done, fuel system done, and get her running. Hopefully the wiring system, but I'll just have to look around, see if I can find a wiring harness, see what I need. And I also got a radiator and fans, and we'll unbox them next video too, and we'll put that on there, see what we can do about all this accessory stuff getting hooked up, but I think we can get her running next video. So yeah, it'll be a few videos of getting this thing starting, running, driving, stopping, all that stuff. So anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed it. There it is. I'm getting a little bit more motivated now to work on it. So yeah, I guess that's all for now. So like, comment, share, subscribe, all that stuff, and we'll see y'all next video. Thanks everybody for watching.